TGR.
So our podcast today on Monster Hunter. So we're going to talk about a few different things, but primarily our main focus of the podcast will be on our top 5 favorite monsters and a runner-up, because we gotta have at least one more. So Rudy, you know what? You're the noob. You're the one that started this. I'm going to throw it to you, my friend. Start off with your runner-up, dude. What is your runner-up favorite monster from, world, because that's the only one you really got to experience.
Yeah, For You doesn't count. I played too little of it to even consider that. I would say that Rathalos is my runner-up, so to speak. And
classic.
It's 100%. But the reason why I chose it is just because every time that I fight it, it's kind of like a dance. Almost like there's certain steps and moves that you have to go ahead and kind of go into, and it's almost kind of like you go in knowing what to expect, knowing what to play, and knowing the moves that you needed to go in and do, and it feels good. It feels good, and it's a classic monster. It looks freaking epic, and it's just good times, man. And I love the fact that he was in the the Rise demo. Because it gave me an opportunity to just kind of be like, oh, okay, cool, wire bug. Let me get acclimated to the wire bug and see how I can go ahead and use that against.
Yeah. Well, that was a Rathian in the Rise demo.
Oh, really? See, again, this is why I'm a noob. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, the Rathian is the green one. Rathalos would be the big red one, which is the male. Rathian would be the female. Nice. But still, regardless, Rathalos is a really good choice. I mean, that's number one. That's the first flagship of the very first monster. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, classic monster right there. And you're right. The way you described fighting a monster that you just know how to fight, it feels like a dance. You know how to fight him. You know how to deal with his attacks and counterattack. And that's the beauty of Monster Hunter. When you learn the monster, when you learn the calls and the tells and all of that, you dance with it and you kill it. And you take its parts for your parts.
That sounds amazing.
Brutal. I love it. But okay, that was your runner-up. Let's go ahead and talk about my runner-up.
What is your runner-up?
So this is a monster that you haven't fought yet, because it was only in the 4th generation. I think it was brought back in Generations, but it didn't make it to World, and it hasn't been confirmed for Rise. But this is Celta's Queen.
I have no idea what this is. Onix went ahead and brought it up, and I was kind of like, what the hell is this thing?
Yes. So, guys, my runner-up is the Celta's Queen. If you've never played any of the 4th gen games, well, you missed out on an awesome fight. This is like a beetle scorpion thing with a flying beetle that helps it, right? And Celta's Queen, the beautiful thing about it, it's a 2-in-1. The Celtas, it's the monster on top, and that's the male. The female is the queen. The queen kills the male after a while. It's great. And then the armor that you get from it looks like some Voltron Megazord type armor, which is very cool, real Gundam looking and it's just a really fun fight. The way the monster moves around too, as she walks around, her legs let off steam, which gives it a mechanical feeling, even though it's clearly a giant ass bug. So very cool monster. I hope that one day it makes it back. Maybe it'll come back in Rise now that they're bringing back the spiders. So we'll see. It's not a spider per se. It might be a different skeleton, but it's a very cool fight, and I really hope it comes back.
So the next monster that I want to go ahead and talk about is a monster that I hate. I actually despise fighting it, but I appreciate the challenge. And this is this
Nice.
is the thing. I appreciate it. For those of you that have hunted with us in World and Iceborne, know exactly what I am talking about, and it is this bad boy, Tigrex. Or Tigrex, however you want to go ahead and call it.
I think it's Tigrex. I think
it is Tigrex? Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But this monster, dude, the moment that I first ran into it, I was like, what the heck? Because it just goes. There is no stopping it. And it's, normally I kind of like to, hang back a little bit, see what its moveset is, and kind of get used to how it runs around and its tells in regards to its attacks. And this thing is just nope. I'm going in, I'm going to attack, I don't care. I'm just going to hit you as hard as I can and as much as I can.
Yes.
So this was one of the last monsters that I remember playing when we were playing World and Iceborne that stuck out in memory. And
Yeah.
I know that as far as like the monsters that are in World and Iceborne, like this is one of the ones that just will stick with me for the rest of like time, I guess.
Yeah.
The rest of my
no, for
hunting
sure.
career.
Yeah, and for good reason. Tigrex is an incredibly aggressive monster. He's a flying wyvern that doesn't look like he flies, but whatever. He's just a really cool design. And one of the older ones, too. I believe he was introduced in either Freedom or Freedom Unite, one of those two, way back on the PSP. Very, very cool monster. I love his music. I love his subspecies called Molten Tigrex. That motherfucker. Cheeto Tigrex, man. Really cool monster. And
Right.
honestly... Oh, it was from Monster Hunter 2. Okay, cool. But yeah, like I love that. Like you remember that quest that we did, that arena quest, but it was the Tigrex
and the Nargacuga?
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my god, that was insane. One of our most memorable fights. We somehow survived that. That was amazing.
I don't know.
We loved it. We got split up and shit. I couldn't find. Oh my god, what a hot ass. I had no potions. I'm relying on your
the health boosters.
Oh my god, that was good ass times.
Seriously.
Yeah, flaming hot for sure. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so that's good choice, man. Good choice.
That to me was, yes, very, very, very memorable. And that fight that you mentioned in the arena was just icing on the cake. So well done.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next monster that I want to nominate, and I think you share this one with me, but it is a monster that you also fought in Iceborne, obviously. And my first encounter was with my first game through you, and that is Nargacuga. I absolutely love Nargacuga. His design of like this like black puma thing that's kind of like a bat with wings and shit, but has like spikes for tails. Just a really good design. I think they have the same skeleton as Tigrex, so they kind of go hand in hand as well in terms of the monster design itself, but they are so unique. Right? The fact that when they get enraged, their eyes light up, right? And like you see them moving around. What a cool thing to have for this monster, right? It feels like it can stalk you in a forest and stuff. So yeah, super cool design. I've loved this monster, and I hope that we get to see a subspecies in this game. Narga's back, and he's back in the base game, right? So they should bring back Lucent. I think it was Lucent Nargacuga. He was gray, and he would like disappear. Holy shit, that monster was hard. Literally, he would disappear.
Like
he would camouflage.
Like chameleons?
And all you see are the red eyes every once in a while. The red eyes would come up and disappear and shit. And then you would hear him like get its tail wind up and throw tails, and they would poison you. Holy shit. What a tough fight. But I loved it. Love that fight. I really hope it comes back.
All right. Okay.
Really do.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, like, that sounds like Chameleos. Like, that sounds like it's going to be a tough fight altogether.
That's right, it was Bleed. That's right. Yeah, it was Bleed. Yeah, it didn't do poison, it did Bleed. That shit was annoying, dude. Really annoying, really hard, but so much fun.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You need to suffer, man. You need to suffer with fun.
You need to suffer with me. Oh, man. That's so, yes, that was actually on my list as well. Nargacuga was one of the monsters. It's something about the music and just like the overall like layout of like his design, dude. It's freaking cool. It's freaking cool. I think
that's one of the things we're gonna hear a lot is most of these monsters just look cool as shit. Really, really cool. So
man. So this one I actually spent a lot of time I guess prepping towards. And for those of you that are watching that are veterans or listening that are veterans of the Monster Hunter series, I am very much a noob. I've only played World and Iceborne, and within the span of like a month and a half, like all together, like we zoomed through it. Thank you everybody that carried me. But to me, like the next monster that I really dug was Volcana, man. Like I thought Volcana was epic. Like
Volcana was a really good addition, yes.
Like I thought Volcana was just a super cool monster, very well designed, fit the aesthetic and the theme of Iceborne in its entirety. It was just cool, man. Like I dug it.
Yeah,
I dug it 100%, and the fight was just really epic leading into it and whatnot. Thanks for your help, by the way, with that. I appreciate it.
Volcana, it's so crazy how we got our asses handed to us fighting Volcana so much, and then the one time we killed it, it was like the perfect run. Nobody carded.
Yep.
We barely had trouble with it. It was like such a good run, and I will agree with this as well. The fight with Volcana is cool because of its personality. Like, was it just me, or does Volcana fight like almost like a knight? Like the way that it would like stab with the sword, it was almost like it was using a rapier of sorts.
Yeah.
With its tail, and I don't know, it almost seemed elegant in the way that Volcana fought. It never seemed like it was just thrashing all over the place. It seemed like it knew exactly where it was trying to aim with its attacks. I love that. I love that about monsters, when the design and the personality shows in the attacks. So definitely, and also their weapons, like the Volcana switch axe is one of the best looking weapons in the entire game, in my opinion, of course. So the next one that I want to talk about, it's another one that you haven't played yet, but I absolutely love this monster. That monster is Gore Magala. Now, again, this is a 4th generation monster, so if you haven't played a 4th gen game, you're not familiar with it, but the one thing that I love about Gore Magala, as the flagship of 4U, right, and 4, it was so integrated with the story, right? And it's not a crazy story, but really quickly, I'll summarize it here. Like, you are tasked to find this monster that is essentially turning these other monsters into like some weird apex thing, right? And as you start figuring out what it is, you find that it's the Gore Magala. You kill it. You later find out that Gore Magala actually is almost like in a cocoon state. It's a baby, and it turns into an elder dragon named the Shigaro Magala, right? But the only way you figure this out is because like after you kill it, you start finding scales that are from Gore, but they're different colors, so like white scales. So you eventually do some investigating in the story. You find the I think it's called Chaotic Gore Magala, which is like you see how like in this picture he has like the arm sticking out.
Yeah.
And it's like all, purple and black and stuff. So it's like cracking, like the shell of his body, it's cracking open with the white from underneath that he's evolving into the Elder. And then you find out the one you killed is like already fully grown into the Shigaro Magala. And that's like the final boss of high rank is you taking on the Shigaro, which is the one that you supposedly killed as the baby Gore. It's like really basic setup, but it was done so epically. I adored that thing, man. So very, very cool. I really like it. And Death just corrected me on something. He said that you don't learn about Chaotic until post-story. I may have mixed that up. I don't remember, but really cool either way. Like, I love the fact that he evolves into the big bad boy Elder Dragon. So very, very cool. Very cool.
Legit. That's awesome. I mean, honestly, for as basic as Monster Hunter stories are, in the grand scheme of things, through like, I know that there's like a bunch of lore that goes into it, but from like just main campaign stuff, like as far as I know, the stories are relatively basic. There's a monster and you have to go hunt it, and that's the gist of it. That sounds pretty cool. I like the fact that they actually did that. This one
felt more personal. Just because you, like the fact that you killed the monster, but it's actually still alive and it's causing havoc and stuff. But then you just go in, like, and you see it grow, and it's like the big bad. That was just a really nice touch. I really liked the story in 4. 4 story was my favorite because of that touch. And like Death says, I do agree. Monster Hunter lore is kind of like the FromSoft lore. It's not overtly told to you, but once you look into it, it's really deep and kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gore Magala, man, that's
your next one. That's legit. Yeah. That's legit. My next one is Shara Isvalda,
nice.
Which is, oh my god, this monster. This monster. The amount of times that we carded fighting this thing, like, it felt so good to bring it down. But not only did it feel good to bring it down, it was such a surprise to me. Like a complete noob. I had no idea what this was. No idea whatsoever, guys. And when you finally like break out of its shell, like you break it out of its shell and the outer shell, and it just becomes what you see on screen, like I'm just like, what? Yeah. That's its final form? And like just the amount of damage and just kind of like being so cautious with where you do things and how you move forward on things. Like, dude, it was just super epic, super cool. And the design is just crazy with like its eyes. I have a picture? No, I don't. I didn't save it. Like the picture with like its eyes, it's just like staring.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of like see it. Like it's literally like, look at that. Look at that. It's like, I'm ready to kill you. So cool,
And the funny
man.
thing is, like, they track you. The eyes track you in the game. Like, kind of creepy. Not gonna lie.
But so
kinda
well
creepy.
done, man. So
Yes,
well done.
Yes,
so well
absolutely,
done, man.
really good end game monster for sure. So my next one is a monster that wasn't introduced in Iceborne and World, but it did come back. I was very happy about that. And that is Brachydios. My little pompadour
Look at that
having boxing having thing. I love this guy. Like, really cool monster. And I say pompadour because if you look at its like horn, it kind of looks like the pompadour like hairstyle of like the Japanese punk, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that he was based on like his arms are like fists. They're like literally like these like giant stumps that he punches you with. And that's how he fights. He literally punches you. He has to fucking, I forget what the train is called, but you know, he like literally like puts blast on his fists, and then he punches the ground when he's enraged, and it just blows up constantly. The pain train, baby. Look at that monster. It's just such a good looking monster. One of my favorites. It kind of has a dinosaur look, but definitely alien. I don't know. I love this bad boy.
I think it's really cool, and I think that when they announced it in World, and you were like stoked for it, you were like, dude, this is so, and I had no idea, and now I'm just like, that's actually a really fun fight, and just kind of like going around, and I do agree with the whole like punk aspect, but dude, so freaking cool, man. I definitely. Do you think, did they say that it's going to be in Rise or no?
They have not confirmed him for Rise. I don't know if he is going to be in this version. Maybe they'll bring him back in with Master Rank.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times with Monster Hunter games, they tend to skip. So, like, you know, if they were in 3U, they may not be in 4U and vice versa. So, it may not come back this game, which is fine. We got to play him a lot in World, and we have Raging Brachydios as well. So that was a good subspecies to see. So, hopefully it comes back, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So, I guess I this is my last one.
Shoot.
Yeah, if I butcher the name, then apologies. But my like ultimate like favorite monster in the only Monster Hunter that I played, Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, is Namiel. And this like monster, the first time I saw it, I was literally like, oh, dude, this looks so freaking cool. And like the fact that it's like all like water based and everything like that, just it completely stood out in comparison to the rest of what I played in World and Iceborne. Like it felt really freaking cool just being around that monster and like I wish I would have like fought it more. I know that like the fight isn't as interesting as some of the other monsters that are out there, but like the armor, the weapons, and like just the aesthetic, just so freaking cool. I dig it, man.
I agree with you. He is one of the more majestic of the Elder Dragons. Like I remember your reaction as soon as you saw it, you were just like, wow, how pretty. This monster is just gorgeous to look at. And I will say, Namiel, like whoever designed it had such a good concept in mind. The way they animated it, the way it walked, it was one of the few monsters in the entirety of the series for me that I felt kind of bad killing. Because it didn't look aggressive. It's just hanging out, doing its thing, looking majestic as shit, and here I am killing it for parts. So I felt kind of bad, but I agree with you. Super good design, man. I love how this monster looks, for sure.
Seriously. And I do agree with you in regards to like the personality of it being like, you know, you feel bad killing it. Like, you know, it's just beautiful, man. Well done.
So would you say this is your favorite monster?
In what I've played so far, like,
awesome.
This is in regards to like the design, the fight is like okay. Like there are more interesting monsters in Monster Hunter, in my opinion, when it comes to like fighting. But in regards to like design, the beauty, the weapons that come from it, everything, like you look kind of like what is it, like an Inkling from Splatoon?
Oh, I can see
Like,
that. Yeah.
With like the way that you're. I mean, I played female. You played female, right? Female hunter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so kind of like with like the skirt and everything, kind of like moving around and whatnot. It's just it looked cool. It looked cool. So that's just me.
Okay. So, well, unfortunately, I guess since we had Nargacuga, that means I have two monsters to talk about. So I'll make these quick. But
I can go. I had more. Like we can.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We'll keep it. We'll keep it even. It just we ended up having one together, and I talked about it.
Okay.
But
similar taste.
Yeah, right. So Nergigante was the flagship of Monster Hunter World, right? And as soon as I saw him, I was like, "That's a cool ass monster. I want to fight him." And as soon as I fought him, I think one of the betas had him. I think, and I remember thinking to myself, "Damn, this monster is cool as fuck. The music is really good, like really good." And his personality is badass. And just playing him in the game, seeing his weapons, seeing the armor,
right?
Fan-friggin-tastic. One of my favorite monsters in the entirety of Monster Hunter. Really good addition to World. And honestly, like, I wasn't too crazy about the music in World, except his theme. Nergigante's theme is my favorite track in all of World and Iceborne. Like, incredible monster. So, definitely deserves to be on this list. And then last, but certainly not last, my favorite monster of all time, and has been and will forever be Zinogre. First of all, it's a fucking dog wolf, an electric dog wolf. All right, this motherfucker looks cool as shit, kicks your ass, like turns Super Saiyan, and then on top of that, his weapons are some of the coolest friggin' weapons ever, like. The hunting horn is an electric guitar. When you play it, it's like like so friggin' cool. I hate that they butchered a lot of the weapons for Zinogre. The switch axe was a paste-on design, and I hated that. The IG was also, I think the IG was also paste-on. I don't remember very well right now, but they messed up a lot of the weapons. I hope for Rise they fix them. I really, really hope they fix them. Because I did hear something that they butchered some of the weapons. Like if the monster came from Monster Hunter World and is in Rise, they kept the same weapons. If the monster was from World, but Zinogre was not from World. Zinogre came from 3U. So, or I'm sorry, well no, he came from Portable Third. So hopefully they bring back those weapon designs. So we shall see. But yeah, that is my list, Rudy. I like your list a lot, man. You got some good monsters there, dude.
Well, I only have one game to base them off of. But they are. It was a fun game. It was a fun game, and I enjoyed a lot of my experience. Zenogre's pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. It's still one of those like monsters that I'm just like, oh, like crap. But here we go. And then the Stygian Zenogre, like the subspecies, is still like one that I'm just like, oh my god, like. Ugh. But no, seriously, man, like your list is legit. I definitely think that I'm looking forward to Rise. Like I can't wait to see what else is in that game. And so far, I haven't seen too many videos online and whatnot, but everything that has been released seems like it's early content and not anything later on. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Definitely. So, but anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. For those of you that are watching on Twitch, thanks obviously for watching and hanging out with us, talking about this. This will be a podcast, so tune in, and we will definitely do more of these at a later time.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more and stay up to date, subscribe, hit the little bell, and join our Discord.
If you want to support the channel, please check out our Patreon or hit the join button below. As always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.